What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Bucket of Chum, the Shark Movie Podcast. As always, I am your host, Captain Steve, and this week we're checking out Apex Predators from 2021, directed by Dustin Ferguson. I did a trailer react to Apex Predators 2, which is coming out this year at some point, I think, and it looked a lot like Piranha 2, The Spawning, with the flying sharks and whatnot. In Apex Predators 2, of course, Piranha 2 had the flying piranha, duh, just in case you couldn't figure that one out. But I wanted to move this movie up on the list because I'm like, okay, this one looks like a dope time, so maybe the first one's going to be pretty good too, so I should check it out. So here we are. We're checking out Apex Predators. I'm just going to get right into the letterbox plot synopsis. The bodies of beachgoers begin washing ashore during the grand opening of a new resort with dire results. So again, this also kind of sounds like the Piranha remake. I don't know if the original had the resort opening, because I think it was a camp in the first one. I think in the remake it might have been a resort or something, but again, pretty cliched storyline. So hearing that, I have very high hopes for what I've seen of the second one. We'll see how this one fares out. It actually has an average rating of 2.4 stars on Letterboxd, a little bit on the higher end, I would say, for some of the movies we've been watching lately. And at the end of the episode, I will give my own rating on Letterboxd. And don't forget, you can follow me on there. My username is scoates. That's SCOATES. And I have the whole Bucket of Chum list on there for all the ratings since I've been doing the ratings. I don't know if I'm going to go back and rate the other ones that I haven't done so yet. Maybe I'll do an episode on that where I go back and rate all the movies or something like that. But yeah, make sure you go and check that out. And now we're going to get into the poster expectations. I am very scared. So what I do is I'm taking a look at the Letterboxd poster, and my expectations based on this poster is I'm a little bit scared. As I said, this movie is going to go one of two ways. It's either going to be like batshit crazy and fun, but like really bad, but that'll make it enjoyable, or it's just going to suck hard. The poster is your like basic Jaws knockoff, right? So girl in the water, then there's a shark, but there's a bunch of sharks. All of the sharks are that like Adobe photo, stock photo that I keep talking about in episodes that I keep popping up on every poster I see. Yeah, it's back in this poster, and there's just like a bunch of them on there. So yeah, I'm a little bit scared by that, but this could go either way. I mean, the Polonia brothers use it in their movies, so this could end up like Shark Encounters of the Third Kind, so like an absolute dumpster fire, or it could be something like Noah's Shark or Land Shark, something that's awesome, right? Again, one of two ways this movie could go. The movie stars, and I shouldn't say stars, she makes a quick appearance here and there, Brinke Stevens. You've seen her in Slave Girls from Beyond Infinity, Slumber Party Massacre, Replicator, Sorority Babes, and the Slimeball Bolorama. So yeah, she's in there, and there's a couple of other people who show up, but I didn't really look up too many people. You're gonna find out why in a bit. But the director has also done Space Sharks, which I am going to be doing at some point. I'm gonna have some special guests on for that episode, so stay tuned for that one. But this movie might, make me regret that decision or be excited to see that movie based on how this one turns out. And he has like 109 other like low budget movies on his IMDb list, so again, like who knows, because it could be like Donald Farmer, right? You get some wins and losses. You get like Shark Exorcist, which I guess I've sort of come back around on, but then you get some real losses like I think it's Hooker with a Hacksaw, or the other one. I don't know. But you know what I mean. Like, just, it could be garbage or it could be really good. I mean, who knows? But before we go any further, if you're listening to this on Spotify, Apple, Good Pods, wherever you're listening, if you could give this podcast a 5-star review or a rating, whatever, that would be greatly appreciated. It just really helps the podcast out. Right now on Spotify, I think we're at about 24 5-star reviews. Even if you want to do 4 stars, if you think it's a 4-star show, that's fine. But let's see if we can get up to 30 ratings by the end of the year. So I just need 6 more. So I think you guys can pull off 6 more, right? We can do that. You know, if you really want to support the podcast even more, you can go to patreon.com/bucket of chum. Last month we did Octoman 1971. And I haven't chosen anything for September as of this recording, so I don't know what's going to be coming out. But we're doing a new movie over there each month, and you can even join the free tier where I'm doing just all kinds of weird shit over there. I'm doing trailer reacts. I'm going to be doing trailer reacts with my girlfriend soon. So be sure you go and check that out and just support the podcast if you can. But I guess there's nothing else left to do other than to let my apex predator loose, and let's dive in. The movie starts with credits over black screen, basically, and this just goes on forever. So already this feels like one of those movies that's like, yeah, we gotta pad this runtime out as much as possible. That's a little concerning, like right off the bat. But Full Moon used to do that all the time too, and we got some real bangers from Full Moon. So it might be okay, but I am still very fucking concerned whenever I see this happen, like especially right at the beginning of the movie. And then we see this boat in Tijuana, Mexico, and then we go underwater, and there's some divers looking around these like coral and caves, and I swear I've seen this stock footage before, like very recently. I almost feel like this is the stock footage they used in Shark Girl. I feel like it's almost exactly the same, which is wild. Oh, God. So, again, already regretting my decision to move this movie further on up. And this stock footage goes on and on and on. And I'm like, fucking hell, we are really just filling this runtime right out. I was mad for a little while, but then one of those fishes, I don't know if you guys have seen them before, but they kind of look like they have human lips from the side. I don't even know. Actually, I kind of think it looks like they do from the front too. But definitely from the side, it looks like they have human lips. And just hilarious. I'm like, okay, that's pretty good. But that's the only part I enjoyed about it. Everything else is fucking trash. But that amused me for a little bit. You know, that was something. And then we just see some stock footage of sharks, and then we hear someone scream. So I guess we're supposed to think somebody's getting attacked. I am assuming one of the scuba divers. Then we're in California with more stock footage. God damn it. But after all the stock footage, we see some titties. Yeah, I'm like, okay, well, this movie just took a left-hand turn for the good. So there's just two bikini babes there. One has her top off, and then she says, oh, I'm going to go in for a dip. So she goes running into the water. And then we just go back to her friend who's listening to music, and then we can hear the other girl scream. So she gets up and goes to the water, and she looks down, and then she picks up, like, her severed hand and screams. So that's all we see. We don't see any attacks yet or anything. Like, we've just had like two attacks back to back, and we see absolutely nothing other than stock footage. It's not looking good, guys. It's looking pretty rough so far. Yeah, we might be going into rage mode at some point. I don't know, but goddamn. Then we get our title card and more fucking credits, just intercut with some stock footage. So like so far this movie's production cost is like $20 probably. They probably had this stock footage left over from some other movie that they bought, so they just used it for this, I'm assuming. I think that's probably a pretty safe bet. Or it's just actually stock footage you don't have to pay for. That could also be it. That would be more than likely. And we also have drone footage of a shark that kind of cuts in and out with these credits too. So that's something. We're following a shark. I don't know why. It's not doing anything special. Just swimming. Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming. Like, that's all it's doing. Just fucking swimming. So I'm like, why are we looking at this? Like, why is this called Apex Predators? That makes me think that they're going to be fierce. Because when you call a movie that, it means, oh, yeah, something's going to be scary and fierce. So far, it's nothing. And, like, we're 10 minutes in right now. Like, there's been 10 minutes of movie time and nothing's happened. We've seen titties. I shouldn't say nothing's happened, but like other than that, it's mostly been stock footage and credits for 10 minutes. My God. I don't know if you've ever seen the YouTube channel Cinema Sins, but this movie would just have like a trillion sins already just based on this because it's 10 minutes of fucking nothing. Good God. Then we're in an office with some lifeguard, and he's getting in shit for leaving his duty to go to the bathroom. Probably to go do a duty. Gross. And the dude at the desk, like, reads off a bunch of infractions the guy has done, like smoking weed, missing work, all that kind of shit. But it's suspicious that the day that a body washes up on shore, suddenly he's missing from his job. So yeah, I guess this guy's a detective, and he's like, "Oh yeah, maybe you were the one that did something to this body." And then This dude is British, so I guess that's going to equal to him being an amazing detective, you would think. But from what I remember, we never see him for the rest of this movie. Or if we do, I just get him confused with everybody else because I do not remember seeing this dude ever again. And the lifeguard dude, I think maybe we see him again. Some of these people are just so interchangeable, I'm not entirely sure. But again, I feel like it really does not fucking matter. Then we go to a radio announcer talking about the woman's remains that washed up on shore. And of course, it's a holiday weekend, so we can probably assume it's the 4th of July, as it always is in these movies, because we gotta open up resorts and money and all that nonsense. And then, other than an exposition dump, like, we don't need this. We don't need this radio disc jockey who shows up a couple more times in the movie, and basically just tells us things that we already know, as if it's adding something more to the movie, but it's really not at all. And then it's stock footage while royalty free hip hop music plays, or I think somebody on this production, maybe even the director, makes music as well, so I'm assuming they probably threw that in there as well. It's not terrible. I don't hate it. It's not really my thing, but I've heard worse, so I'll give them that. Then these two girls, one named Frankita, I think, and for some reason that just makes me think of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I feel like at some point there was a character who came up named Frankita or Frankito, maybe? Don't know, but for some reason it made me think of that. And they go up to this dude and he shoos them off, and I don't know if these two are actually boyfriend and girlfriend or if she's just insane. She's going to pop up a few more times in the movie for reasons unknown to us. I'm not really sure what she adds to the plot or what her interaction with this other character, whose name is Kirk, I think. Don't really know what it adds. Then we get some SeaWorld show that I'm sure they ripped from YouTube or filmed themselves with one ticket. And then these two dudes going like, yay, go dolphins, woo, dolphins, do your thing. Oh, wow, whoop-de-doo. And then one of them gets a call, I'm guessing from his weed dealer or something. He's like, yeah, get the weed, because after this dolphin show, I want to get high. And then after he hangs up the phone, he starts walking away down the street. And we follow him walking for fucking ever. Like, if you thought there was a lot of walking in, like, all three of the Lord of the Rings movies, no. Like, some of the walking scenes in this just blow it out of the water. Like, there is so much walking. My God. And also, what happened to the dolphin show? Were you not excited to see the dolphin show and then get high? I'm very unclear about what the fuck is happening right now. This is filler, the movie. Like, this movie is just. You could just take scenes from this movie and put it in your own movie as filler. Oh, and in case any of you forgot, because I did at this point watching the movie, this is a shark movie, supposedly. But anyways, then we see some dude who looks like he's had like 8,000 fucking facelifts, and he's, I guess, the owner of this resort, Mr. Williamson, and he's got this like crew of 3 people in front of him, and they're just talking about like whatever the fucking weekend activities are and whatnot. Then after they talk about all that, he asks one of them to follow him, and I guess that's one of his other sons. It doesn't matter. I don't know why this is here, because it really doesn't fucking matter. And the fact that he has another son doesn't really matter later either. Like, oh my god. It's just dumb. This is so stupid. Then we go back with Stoner Dude, so he's finally done walking, and I guess he's with his dealer, or maybe it's just his friend. I don't know, but they're smoking weed together, and again, talking about the shark attacks and all of that, or whatever it may be. I guess they haven't confirmed that it's sharks yet. They think it might be a serial killer too. I don't know. And then back with the two girls who were bugging the dude earlier, Kirk, and so Frankita and her friend, whatever her name is, and they spot him making out with someone. And then after they're done kissing, they start talking about the shark attacks and or like what it might be again. Like, we don't need these two conversations back to back. Like, you can either spread this out a little bit or maybe have the characters listen to the radio, since we have these fucking radio exposition dumps. Oh my god. There's a lot of dumps in this movie. These two just talk back and forth for a while, and I guess we learn that Kirk is Williamson's son as well, but they had a falling out 3 years ago or something. And this girl then tries to convince him, like, oh, well, you should reconcile with him because life's too blah, 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 blah. I'm like, don't get me fucking started on this bullshit. And then, like, these other two girls keep just watching him and then, like, shake their heads. Again, I don't. Why do we need this? Why is this here? I guess maybe it's supposed to be funny, but oh, sweet Jesus. We're in Birdemic 3 territory, where Birdemic 1 was fun and stupid because it was so bad. But then with 3, the fun and stupid went too far with stupid to trying to actually have a real message and then being dumb. And then, like, this movie is just doing the same thing. It's like they went too far with the dumb. We just kind of circled back around to shit instead of like good shit or shit good, whatever. Anyways, yeah, we got more stock footage after that. How exciting. Then some photographer is taking pics of these two busty blonde women in swimsuits. And of course, this goes on and on again for a while. Like, oh, he's like, yeah, oh my God, oh yeah. Which probably wasn't written in the script. This dude was probably just like, oh man, this is what I get to do today? Fuck yeah. And then a little bit after that, we get some more stock footage. Yeah, what a surprise. The return of stock footage. And then this photographer is taking more pictures. And then one of them finally shows some titties. So again, we get a second pair of titties in this movie. So congratulations for that. Kudos. And this other woman who's watching is disgusted by this, I guess. She's like, oh, blah, blah. Like, oh my God, am I watching Shark Girl again? My God. So yeah, I guess photographers are shit. That's what shark movies say. They say photographers who take pictures of models are shit. I don't. That could be true. I don't know enough about it, but it just seems to be something that pops up a lot. So it might very well be true. The girl then gets in the water and she's like splashing around. And he's taking photos, like, oh yeah, this is so good. And then she says something touches her leg, and then he's like, yeah, something's gonna touch your leg in a minute. Oh, I believe that this gentleman is talking about his penis. Ding 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 ding. Wow. And then we get some slow mo underwater stock footage, and then she's pulled under and then just stands back up and it's like, oh my God, yeah, there's really something in the water here. And he's like, yeah, no, don't worry about it. It's nothing. It's just the waves. Yeah, photos. Yeah, woo. Oh my God. Like, just get out. You don't have to stay there. She's not even in that deep of water. Like, she could easily get out of the water away from whatever's in there, like, right now. And we don't even see, like, a shark fin, nothing. We don't see shit. Oh my God. Oh, this other woman who stayed on the beach, by the way, looks like a 60-year-old porn star with so much plastic surgery she's trying to look like a 30-year-old porn star, if that makes any sense. Like, I'm not trying to shame, like, that was mean, but holy fucking hell, man. Jesus. Anyways, back with Williamson and his son. So this is plastic surgery, dude. And Williamson is played by Mel Novak, who's been in movies with Bruce Lee in Game of Death and a bunch of other 80s action movies and whatnot. So I guess like good pull on him. I guess maybe that's where the budget may have went. Maybe that's why we don't have any fucking sharks in the movies, because we have Mel Novak in the movie. So we don't have any CGI sharks, but we got Mel Novak, everybody. Thank fucking Christ. Mel Novak's here to save the day. I'm getting mad. I'm getting a little mad. Anyways, they just do a tour of this place. And I mean, when I say tour, they're walking down a long hallway pointing to different doors saying what's behind them and whatnot. Oh, cool. That's what a great resort we're at right now. And as they're talking, I'm not listening. I don't have any idea if any of it was important. I'm going to go out on a limb and say it's not. Probably none of it's going to come up later, and if it does, probably not going to impact how I feel about anything. And then we get this long sunset. And we literally watch the whole fucking thing. So the sun is like half behind the horizon, and we just watch it go down. Just down, 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 down. Like, oh my god. Again, filler, the movie. I can think of a lot of other movies where there's a lot of filler. I'm having a hell of a time trying to think of one that has more than this. Good, sweet, fucking Jesus Christ. Oh, I think I just turned religious for a second. My God. And then it's the next day, so I guess we really needed to emphasize, like, hey guys, the day's ending. It's ending. This is a new day. That day that just happened, that was yesterday. But then when the sun did that thing, whole new day. Huh. Who fucking knew? And then the radio announcer tells us about the model who died, and again, we still haven't seen shit. There's no sharks. We talk about them a lot, talk about sharks a few times in this movie, but I rarely ever get to actually fucking see any. But, minor complaint from the guy who watches fucking shark movies for the podcast. And then we just get more conversations where, like, this new resort that's being opened is called the Regatta in Oceanside. If this could be a reference to Piranha, maybe. I was going to look it up. I forgot to, and then I'm just like, I don't even really care if it is. So, fuck it. There we go. There's that. And yeah, but so Williamson, the dad, I don't remember what his first name is, but Kirk and his son, I guess, all own this place together, or I guess the dad owns it and he's going to give it to them when he dies or whatever. Again, don't particularly care, and it's the same fucking shit we've seen in how many other movies before. God. And then we get more goddamn stock footage, and some of it might not even be stock footage. Like, they may have just brought a camera to the beach, and then we just see a lot of that. And then there's some random dude going around flashing women on the beach, scaring the shit out of them, and, well, probably scarring them for, sexually assaulting them. That's a lot of fun. It was like the one little piece of humor that I did enjoy in the movie, though. So I will say that it did get a little chuckle out of me, as terrible as it is. But anyways, after this dude is done flashing his wiener around, he walks past the two stoner dudes who are still talking about shark attacks and whatnot. And then they even mention, like, super sharks at one point. And I'm like, super sharks, yeah, that would be cool. May we see those at some point? Perhaps? That would be, oh, God. Oh, remember Super Shark? Wait, have I watched? Yeah, I've watched Super Shark. Yeah, Super Shark was good. Super Shark was a better movie than this. There was a shark that was super, and we actually got to see it. That was pretty dope. We go to Williamson's office, and the woman who was with the two other dudes earlier during the briefing, she comes in, and basically this is to let us know that they're fucking. They don't show anything, but it's just like, yeah, they're all gone, so, like, let's fuck, or whatever the fucking line is. Who gives a shit? Yeah, they're doing it. I feel like this is unnecessary. I don't think we're going to learn anything. Kind of felt bad for the actress a little bit, if I'm being honest. I don't know, maybe she liked it. I don't know. Who am I to say? Who am I to fucking judge? Hey, who's this guy? Ah, fuck. I don't know. Oh, I'm talking about anything other than the rest of this movie right now. And then we keep seeing glimpses that Kirk is still being followed by these two chicks. I'm assuming it's a crazy ex. We don't necessarily establish much from this, so I don't really know. Like, I don't know what this is. And then we see some dude in a swimming tube is pulled under, but guess what? We don't see shit. He's kind of pulled under, and then that's all we see. And then Juke, yes, Juke, some scientist dude, just walks into this lab with BRINKE Stevens and her sexy assistant, other doctor lady. And then he just kind of starts talking about the sharks and how he's been following them. And then he, like, gets them to grab a map and he starts, like, talking about where they are and whatnot and how it's more than one shark. Like, barely an introduction. Like, I don't even think they called him or anything. And they're just like, yeah, we're all going to work together and do this in a, like, 20-second period. My God. Like, instead of showing us sharks in this movie, they just have all of these really dumb conversations about sharks that we never see. Oh my god, it's so frustrating. It's so frustrating. And then they talk and they talk and they talk and like who cares? If you want to know what they talk about, go watch it. Have a blast. Let me know what you think. And then Juke learns about the resort opening and he's like, "No, they can't. I got to go warn them." So I guess he's off to go warn them and whatnot. And then, so Frankita is watching Kirk and his girl, and after they're finished like making out or talking or whatever, Kirk spots a body on the beach and he's gonna go check it out. But then Frankita fucking comes and then just pushes this girl off the pier that they're on into the water. And then her and her friend are just sitting there fucking laughing about it. And they're gonna do this later on too. Just keep continuing laughing about, oh, I why is this here? I don't care for it. Like, this is so dumb. I don't like it. I guess this maybe feels like one of those movies where it's made with like a bunch of friends, and I think maybe it is because I do recognize some of the people from the credits. I think I might follow some of them on Instagram. Sorry. um, but yeah, like I guess it's a bunch of friends making a movie together, and hey, if they're having fun, great. You know, you guys get kudos for that. That's awesome. But I'm not really in on it because I'm not there. So I'm not really in on any of the jokes or whatever is happening right now. But then these people gather around the body and they're looking at it or whatever, and then I guess nobody really cares. Not really much comes for that. I guess we see the guy's dad because later on we see him go to a bar, get mad, go and hire a boat to go and stop the shark, I guess. We've spent like 2 seconds with this dude, and they're building it up like we're really supposed to care about him, and I just don't. So yeah, they head out on the boat, and then they find a shark, and I guess we see some of a practical shark fin here, but I also kind of feel like maybe they just lifted it from another movie. I'm not really sure because it looked familiar to me. That's all we get. Like we don't really see much. So yeah, one of them starts opening fire on it, and then the other one goes to take a look, and he's like, "I don't see anything," and then falls into the water. It looked like he willingly just fell in. But I guess we're supposed to believe the boat was rocked, and then I guess everybody dies there because that's really all we get from that. Who cares? Everyone's dead. Everybody died on the boat. Then we get more stock footage of like random fishes and some nurse sharks and whatnot. And one of them finds a fish and then eats it. And then like the music gets sinister for a second. Pretty exciting stuff. Yeah, I was I was on the edge of my seat. I almost thought something was gonna happen, but whew, they got me. And then once I started tuning back into the movie for a bit, Kirk goes and visits his dad, but then his dad gets a call from Juke who tries to warn him about the sharks and opening the resort that day. We all know how this conversation goes. Juke's like, no. And then, yeah, that's all we need to know from that shit. And then Juke walks around the beach and then he like runs around a pier, keeps like looking over the edge, and then at one point he's like, "I will find you and I will kill you," or some shit like that. And again, but this like goes on for fucking ever. And we don't see anything that he sees. He just looks out at the water and we see waves and whatnot. I'm like, okay, cool. And then eventually he goes back home. He has a coffee, and then he's like, I have to warn everyone myself, and then leaves his house again. Warning everybody yourself was always an option. That was never not on the table. Oh, maybe he needed his caffeine. Maybe that's what this was. Or maybe it's just filler. It's just more fucking filler. And at the beach, there's some dude watching Frankita and her friend, and then he's watching like some other women on the beach. Great. He even flashes this one girl who just laughs, finds it hilarious, and then she gets up, and you think that she's gonna go and chase him or something, but she just runs into the water and then gets pulled under. And again, we don't see anything. Fucking naturally. People at the beach then start getting attacked, so Juke accomplished nothing by coming to this realization. Like, he is way too late for this shit. Yeah, so everyone just starts going wild. The girl who fucks the boss tells Daddy Williamson about the shark attacks, and he's like, no, you're fired. No one's gonna ruin this day for me. Fucking what? What? Oh my god. And so, yeah, she runs out, and as she does, she screams, I don't get paid enough or suck enough to deal with this. I don't even know what that means. I'm not even entirely sure what that means. But anyways, the dad dies of a heart attack, I guess. So I guess he sort of ruined his own day. Fucking, again, pointless. Absolutely fucking pointless. And then Juke goes up to Kirk and says he can stop them, but he needs human bait. And so Kirk gets into a swimsuit and his girl wraps a rope around him. If you're going to do this shit, don't do that. It is not good to just wrap a rope around the middle of your fucking body. I mean, I get the idea, but Jesus Christ. And then he's holding two pieces of meat in his hands. And I'm like, okay, if you need human bait, why is he holding meat? Apparently he just needs to run in there. What's where's the beef? I found it. This fucking asshole has it. He's wasting it because he doesn't need to be using it here. So he starts running into the water, frolicking, and then he throws the meat in, and then he gets pulled back onto shore just in time before the filmmakers would have actually have had to have maybe shown us a shark or something, but he gets away scot-free. Oh, thank God, because I'm so attached to Kirk. I'm pretty sure this was Kirk that's doing this. Like, good God. And, guys, he wakes up. Yeah, he wakes up. So I guess I don't know if this whole thing was a dream or what part of this was a dream, but he reads a note from his girlfriend that says, Gone for a swim. He goes outside and it's the fucking apocalypse out there. There's like fucking meteors raining down and shit, or like stuff's on fire. And then we see the shark from the Jaws poster in the background rising above the horizon with a large fucking growling noise coming. And then like that's it. That's credits. We get credits after that. Long fucking credits. Okay. It's like whoever made this has never seen a movie before. Okay, so I guess I was either expecting this to be okay or complete trash. So I guess I like kind of predicted the poster expectations I had, right? So yay for that. You know what? Now, before I go on my rage, as always, congratulations to the filmmakers. You made a movie, you put it out there. I streamed this on Tubi. You know, people are seeing your stuff. Your name is out on some things, and that's great. And you probably got some people to pay you for it. And that's awesome. This is stock footage with random scenes put inside of it. Like, listen, if you don't have money for a shark movie, please, for the love of God and all that is holy on this earth, do not make a shark movie. Don't tease me, okay? You're like not even like fully tickling my balls with these movies. You're just like kind of getting the hair a little bit. You're like kind of like tugging the hair a little bit, a little tiny bit, but it's more of an annoyance than it is a turn on. All right? I need you to get in there, give him a nice firm, but not too firm, just nice firm grasp, okay? Just enough. I've had it. My God. Oh, you can listen. I can only give this a half star. I mean, normally I wouldn't even give this anything, but again, you made a movie, you put it out there. I haven't done that, so good for you. But I can only give this a half star. It's just this isn't a shark movie. This is hardly a movie altogether. So I mean, I don't really know what to do with it. I mean, you had the cameras and actors. You could have put something else together. Like how much is it to make your own fake blood? I know it's cliche to do a slasher flick, but it's even worse to do a shark movie where there's basically no fucking shark in the movie. At least with a slasher, I could see the killer, I could see some blood, I could see some gore. Like you obviously had access to some stuff, so I don't know what this is. It's like maybe these were scenes from other movies that they kind of like mashed together for reasons. I don't know what this is, man. Or I don't know, maybe it's a scam and a cash grab. I don't know. I'm just kidding. I don't know. But to close it out, to give it a compliment, boobs? Yeah, okay. Yeah, there we go. But before we go, I just want to do a couple more quick shout outs as I have been for the last couple of episodes. Delight and Fright, I did a live stream with them for Under Paris. We had a great time talking about that movie, so go and check that out. As always, any episode that I have appeared on, if you go to my website, bucketofchumpodcast.com, I have under appearances all the podcasts and episodes listed that I've been a guest on, so you can go and check those out pretty easily. But also, Studio Sinister, I was on a live stream where it was a murder mystery, and everyone had to figure out who the murderer was, and we had a really great time with that. I played like this stoner, surfer, mad scientist dude. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. And I just recorded an episode on Dairyland Frights with John. Thank you so much for having me on. We just talked about bad shark movies and podcasting and whatnot, and the paranormal, kind of talk stories about our paranormal experiences. So yeah, that was a lot of fun too, and just shark movies in general. That's all I have for right now, and I just want to thank you guys, all the fans, for listening. For now, we're probably gonna keep with just the 2 episodes a month. I'm close to being able to get a new PC, but not quite there yet. So it just depends on how much longer that's going to take. I'm trying to sell stuff on eBay and things like that. So yeah, hopefully we'll be back up to 4 episodes a month soon because I have a lot of guest episodes I want to do and a lot of great ideas I want to get out there. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled, and you guys know you can follow me on all the social medias if you want to support the podcast. Patreon.com/Bucket of Chum, and I'll see you guys next time for even more Bucket of Chum.